I love a good clickbait title. Just be lying like shit for no reason.
Beyonce eats this fried chicken recipe every Thanksgiving.
3,000-year-old fried chicken recipe written on the walls of King Tut's tomb.
This secret fried chicken ingredient made my sex 10 times better.
Today on Poor Choices, we are frying up not only the most foolproof way of making fried chicken, but literally the best fried chicken I've ever made. No clickbait here. We're cooking it first on our sous vide to get the perfect flavor and juiciness, and then all we gotta do is fry till golden brown because it's already been cooked to perfection. If you need a reason to buy a sous vide right now, this is it.
Starting out, I just want to say this. Cooking should be fun and it should be delicious. How you get there, it doesn't matter. And the only reason why I say this is because there may be a friend or family member who looks at you with the side eye because you're sous videing chicken, and who cares? It's delicious. Having said that, we need some chicken. I've got about 2 pounds of chicken thighs here, skin on and bone in, and you can use whatever part of the chicken you'd like if you're using the sous vide, because no matter what, it's gonna stay juicy. So no worrying about chicken drying out or any of that mess. But I like chicken thighs because they just have way more flavor. We're gonna trim off any excess fat as well as any excess skin that may be hanging off. So just take some kitchen shears and trim away till you don't have anything hanging off. Then we'll season our thighs, and you can go whatever route you want here. You can do an all-purpose seasonings, regular salt and pepper, or one of many Creole seasonings / Cajun seasonings. I'm going with my new favorite Heath Riles Cajun Creole garlic butter seasoning. I just cannot get enough of this stuff. Give both sides a good coating, pat it on there nicely, and then get those bad boys into a vacuum sealed bag and into a water bath set at 155 for 3 hours. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, you can always just use a large Ziploc bag and just be sure to squeeze all that air out. Air pockets will make the bags float in the water, and the heat from the water may not make it into the bag with the chicken if you have all this air going on, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. Also, if you are using a vacuum sealer and maybe you're new to it, rolling down the top before you place items in will ensure a good seal. Place your items in, and then you can unroll it. This prevents any seasoning or juices from getting in the way of the machine because that top portion is where the machine is going to do its work. Think of any time you've ever gotten seasonings in the grooves of like a Ziploc bag and how annoying it is to try and get it sealed. It's just like that. Also, I like my chicken to have space, so I lay as many as I can without overlapping them. After 3 hours, our chicken has been perfectly cooked, and the best part about this is that it's been perfectly cooked in its own juices and seasonings. But we need these to cool for a bit, so I popped mine in the fridge still in the bag just for an hour. And you might be thinking, damn John, 4+ hours for some fried chicken? Well, if you were doing a buttermilk brine, you'd be doing this for the same amount of time. So yes, it just needs some time, but it's totally worth it. For our breading setup, it goes as follows: 2 eggs beaten, and then I added in ½ a cup of whole milk. I also added in a tablespoon of our Cajun seasoning and a generous tablespoon of Louisiana hot sauce. Give it a mix and you're good there. To the flour, this is 1 cup of bread flour, or you could use all-purpose flour if you want to, and ½ a cup of cornstarch. I've been experimenting with bread flour lately because it has a higher protein count, and I wanted to see how it did for fried chicken, and guess what? It was fire. Also, we're adding 1/4 a cup of our Cajun seasoning into this as well. And finally, ½ a teaspoon of MSG. You're gonna want this in there. Trust me, it makes fried chicken way better, like levels better. Give that a mix to make sure it's nice and evenly distributed. Once our chicken has cooled, we'll get it out the bag and dry it off as much as we can with some paper towels. Then take your chicken and run it through your liquid mix, then run it through your flour mix and give it a good squeeze to make sure it's nicely coated and on there. Then we'll let our chicken hang out a bit, maybe like 20 minutes so that flour can hydrate, and that's the perfect time for us to get our oil up to 350 degrees. In normal frying, this may be too hot, but because our chicken is already cooked, perfectly might I add, and we're just getting the outside nice and golden brown, we won't need long in this oil, so 350 degrees is perfect. It's literally just gonna take like 3 to 5 minutes total in the oil, and honestly, visually you'll see when it's time to come out. And if you're wondering, because we cooked this chicken for such a long time in a sous vide, it's been pasteurized through the process, so it's safe to eat. I know someone might be saying, hey, we only cooked this at 155. It'll cook a little bit more in the frying process, but again, because of the length of time the chicken spent cooking at 155, it's perfectly safe to eat and completely done, no pink. And once the chicken has achieved ultimate goldness, get it out the oil, let it drip for a little bit, then get it onto a cooling rack and hit it with some salt. And normally this is where I show you a bunch of footage and talk about how delicious it was, but I wanted to try this on camera with a microphone on, and here is what ensued.
Goddamn, bro.
This nigga giggling and eating. This nigga eating like it's a secret.
This is stupid. This is dumb as fuck. I should have not learned how to do this. The juiciness of this is crazy. Like, I could have changed up the batter and did a very, very crunchy one. But this is so southern, so just like very familiar with like home fried chicken. But my God, it's so fucking juicy. Nick, please. I just want people to know. I would never do this doing a voiceover, but like I need y'all to know this shit is good. And this is with chicken thighs. Right? Right? Now you giggle like me. I want to cry. I want to cry. It doesn't.
I did a little bit.
It shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be that good. Yeah.
Yo, this is dumb. This makes no sense.
I'm never frying chicken the same way again.
Juice is dropping down my fingers. That's literally the best fried chicken I've ever had. And I mean that.
I agree. Hey, normally I would do this in a voiceover, but this is Poor Choices Kitchen. We're here every single week. Sometimes got a Patreon link down in the description. $1 a month is all we ask for. Pay for
Do yourself a favor.
this shit. Yeah.
Whatever it is, just do it.
This is the way to do fried chicken from now on. I guarantee if you do my recipe exactly to the T, you ain't gonna go back to the old way. Holy shit. Get you a sous vide, it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. Look at my hand.
My hands are wet from chicken. I'm trying to save this for somebody, but if they don't show up, if they don't show up in like 30 minutes, that's it. But it's gonna be wet. We'll see you next week. Holy fuck.